Powered by Virginia Radio.
Yo, 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 yo. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Wednesday to you all. Yes, I hope the week has met you well. I hope today has met you nice. Look, it's Phenomenal Women's Month, and as we continue to uplift phenomenal women, without further ado, I would like to introduce the phenomenal women of this evening. Her name is DeAngela. Trust the process, right, baby? Coming straight to you. And TSPILLS. So as we highlight and spotlight the hues of Miss Wright, we are going to take a little moment to acknowledge all of the phenomenal women that are no longer here. So if you all will embrace me in a quick moment of silence to, commemorate and pay homage to those phenomenal women who are no longer here. Yes. Ashe for that. So, phenomenal, embodies so many different characteristics. That's why I use the word. Phenomenal means like you're not ordinary, you're not a standard. You break standards, you break barriers. Big shout out to SHANTA WRIGHT. You move mountains, you make the impossible possible. You show up with nothing and you make something. You get it out of the mud. You use innovative tactics to take things that are already in place and make them work for you. Phenomenal, because even when you don't feel like it, even when it don't line up, even when it don't add up, you still show up and you do. Phenomenal, because you get up in the midst of not having a good mindset and not having your heart mended together right, and not having a plan clearly, and not having the resources, and not having the help, and not having the emotional capacity, but you love and you give and you birth and you do and you uplift and you motivate. Phenomenal, because it's the only word I can find suitable. And it still doesn't embody the woman we're able to give life. And then not only do we give the life, we nurture the life. And not only do we nurture the life, we multiply the life. And not only do we multiply the life, we add to the life. See, we're doing all kinds of bringing forth or uprooting or rerouting or planning forward movement. Like, and not to downplay all of that brightness, but that's how we have to understand that women, though, if we are wrong, or if we not gonna say wrong, if we are not living in our best lights, and if we are not rising up to our full potential, that we also are just as destructive as we are to be innovative or rising or forward or all the positives. We can be just as destructive. So understand your power and let's use it right. Like, what side of the fence you on? You know what I'm saying? What side you on? So I'm not gonna keep talking, but I had to say, because this month is coming to an end, so I had to express the reasons and the answers, or whatever you would like to call them, behind Phenomenal Women's Month. And saying all that, I'm gonna let this phenomenal woman introduce herself to you all right here.
How y'all doing? This is DeAngela. Trust the process, right? You can find me on Instagram every Tuesday at 7 p.m. doing my podcast called Trust the Process, which started off as a therapy for myself, and then I felt like I really wanted to share that with other people, hoping people would chime in and give me advice. I can give them advice. We can kind of help each other, because that's the one thing we need is togetherness. We need trust. We need uplifting. You know what I mean? So I thank you for allowing me to come on your show, because we had such a great time on. Man, yes. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes. And I'm glad she brought that up. Okay, so trust the process, right? This young lady, it's so funny. Like, she was telling me on the way here that, some of her people, were like, couldn't believe that we didn't really know each other. But y'all already know how I go down on TSPILLS. Most of my guests, I don't know. But it's always a vibe because when you're amongst good people, see, this is why I stress to y'all that longevity with something don't mean nothing, for real. And what I mean by that is, just because you have had a long time with a person don't mean anything, or you've had a short time with a person, it doesn't mean anything. Time does not equate the weight of a thing. See, good people recognize good people sometimes, and it just is what it is, and it just flows, and it bounces off of each other because we on one accord a certain way. So you gotta embrace that too. Like, I'm saying that because as women, sometimes we shun other women.
Yes.
And we don't embrace that connectivity that is there. And we choose based on what is
they normal standard of friends, or they normal standard of what they think they should be around.
The
And all the time,
comfortability. The comfortability. That I
There you
want to
go.
find the exact word I was trying to say for it. The comfortability. The reason why I call it comfortability is because some people you are around don't stretch you.
There you go.
They don't push you. They don't question you. They don't say, well, girl, why you? They don't push you. They don't set that fire to you. And sometimes some people like that because some people don't want no fire set. They comfortable with it.
They comfortable where they at. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, in this season, we must let that barrier of our mindset as women break off, because we miss the connections. Because you can find a dope connection. Don't be intimidated by somebody they may illuminate your life.
There you go.
Why are you intimidated? Ask her how she do it. Because I'm a quick person to well, look, baby, I like the way you're doing that. Why are you doing what?
Okay.
Tell me. It's nothing wrong. It takes no value from you to ask questions. It say we know not because we ask not.
There you go.
Just like you have not because you ask not. It's the same difference. We don't ask the right questions, but we ask questions about stuff that's trivial. That means
That don't mean nothing.
So take that time to ask the questions that really mean something. And I said all that because Trust the Process is a dope platform. I want y'all to definitely tap into Trust the Process. And y'all know I already just shared it because I want y'all to tap in. It was dope.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the experience. She really had something good going on. She's doing a lot of outreach. She's doing a lot of things in the community. Tell them about that. That's another reason I broke her up here, y'all. She's so dope. She out there in the community putting in that footwork.
So, a lot of people that don't personally know me don't know that I lost, but even before that, as a child, my main thing, when everybody was like, what do they want to be when they grow up? I just wanted to save lives. I just wanted to be something or someone that somebody could literally say, she saved my life, or she helped me in some kind of way, so that they can help somebody else, just pay it forward. And that stemmed from me feeling like I didn't really genuinely have a place. Not that I didn't have the love, but I genuinely didn't have a place because I wanted to be with my parents, and I wasn't. So I started within myself saying, if I ever have kids, or if I ever come in contact with kids, I'm going to make sure they always feel this type of way. They always feel love. They never feel the types of things I felt as a youth. And then both of my parents were addicts. So that also stemmed me wanting to help me, pushing myself even further to make them better. You know what I mean? And, by the grace of God, he kept my parents for so long, and I lost both of them last year. Rest in peace to them. But that was the pivot for me. You know what I mean? I had to lose almost everything to really genuinely see the place God needed me to be and the things I needed to do, because I was doing it. I was going to church. I was doing different things, but I wasn't really doing what was in my heart of hearts to do. I always did public service or service in some form or fashion, but it wasn't until my mom and my dad passed that I genuinely said, this is definitely what I want to do. I wanted to give back to my community. We've lost so many people in general, off of mental health issues, just people just feeling displaced in the world, so I felt like that Trust the Process movement for me was to allow people to understand you're not by yourself. We've always been raised that if someone in a situation way worse than you, I always held that near to me. I can't sympathize with them because I don't know what they're going through. They specific trauma, you know what I mean? But yes, I can empathize with them because I know how certain traumas affect me. So I kind of keep that in my mindset at all times, whether I'm up, whether I'm down. I always try to make sure I'm reaching out to somebody. I'm trying to help somebody. If somebody's doing an event, excuse me, that's with the with the community. I try my best to be there if I can, you know, and even if I'm not there, I try my best to encourage the situation, because a lot of times people don't pour back into the community because they want to say Portsmouth is this, Portsmouth is that, in any city. But I'm from Portsmouth, so I can only speak from the Portsmouth perspective. People give us such a bad light, and I'm not saying we're perfect. We do have a lot of things going on, but those things that we had going on growing up and now have molded us into the people that we are. I don't regret any of it because it made me stronger. It made me know what I needed to do, what my purpose was, and recognize what God set in me. So that's just, you know, just what I'm doing, just trying to give back, trying to be there for other people where I felt like I had a lack. That's just my motivation for real.
See, y'all told y'all she was so phenomenal. Y'all heard that?
Thank you.
Did y'all just hear all of that? Goodness. But see, okay, so that was so beautiful. Like, really, it really is. And it makes sense. And it shows that it go back. Remember when I've been telling y'all about devastation, right? And how we look at it wrong, how our perspective is wrong. Like, when the things are falling apart and things ain't feeling right, I know it don't sit well. And I know it sounds crazy to say, but that's when we should be the happiest. You know, because after that, after this though, see, once you come through, all of that was to break off all the stuff, because only when we were put, when you push to a limit, only when you are put in that position of pressure do you really grow and glow. You don't really understand or tap into all the time who you are until you have no choice but to be there with nothing but you and yourself.
Yep.
See, when you have all the distractions, see, and also we all get whatever from God based on our own obedience or lack thereof. Some of us hard-headed.
Yes.
Some of us don't believe shit stay until we smell it, taste it, feel it, roll in it, get a you know what they say. That's for real. Excuse my French, but it's just the way it is. We don't believe it until it's no other choice. God knows how to touch us, is what I'm saying. Everybody can't be touched the same way. Some people don't need a lot. Some people need, it's just like with kids. Some children you could just elevate your voice, they gonna get right. Some kids you could just pop their hand, they gonna get right. Some kids you gotta beat them for them to get right. Some kids, you know, you could just go send them over there, they'll be all right, put them in some seclusion for a little bit, whatever, you know, punishment, you know what I mean, like a punishment type thing. Everybody is different in their chastising. And because God is a God of rewards, he's also a God of chastising.
Yes.
So we have to get, and I'm not saying none of that like as you deserved any of the things that you got. But all I'm saying is sometimes once we know or once we've been put in position, because he judges us for the things that we know, not the things we don't know. But once we do know, it is what it is. And the redirection though, see, because even in us I'm gonna shut up. Even in us knowing, right, even in us knowing, he uses that as and that acting a part where we know he uses that as still fuel to push us even further in our purpose, because it'll get to a point where you feel uncomfortable in the doing, in the thing, in the what you know better to do. It don't even sit right with you. You can't even be happy in it. You can't even,
because you know you did wrong.
Because you know you wrong.
You know you did wrong.
And it's just so dope. Your story is so dope. So your childhood prepared you for your future, and with your presence, which is your future, but your presence. And so in your presence, what does that truly feel like? Like looking back on all that you have been through and sitting here right now in this moment with me today, what does that truly feel like?
It's a gift and a curse to me at times, because in my childhood, like I said, I wanted certain things. I wanted my parents. I wanted different things in life. And I took certain paths that I knew, it, like you said, was comfortable, but I knew I shouldn't take them. And then eventually it became uncomfortable. I had to move one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like I'm in a place where I'm secure and being by myself. I'm secure and doing the things that I know God has put me to the task to do. But then at the same time, those things, when I accomplish them, I'm like, oh, I need to call my mom. I need to call my, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a gift and a curse, because it's like, the things that I wanted them to see, the things that I wanted them to realize they created, even without raising me, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I believe they watching down on me, but I would so much rather them be here in the physical so that I can take them on a journey with me so that they can see I was serious about being that helpmate for them. You know what I mean? Like, I was serious about the things I was telling them as far as helping them. So it's kind of like a gift and a curse, but I'm excited about it. I've never been more scared in my life because I don't like to be a public speaker. I like to be behind the scenes, but like you told me on the way here, right now ain't the time for the people that's been in the back to be in the back no more. We got to come to the forefront because we got work to do. We got too much work to do. And I feel like that's what it is. I feel like I got too much work to do. I'm scared as hell, but I'm going to fight through it. I'm going to fight through it.
But you know what, though? I think a little bit of fear is a great recipe for greatness because you not too cocky, arrogant, or full of it that you not moldable. Mm-hmm. You still are accepted. And what I mean by moldable, not that nobody can shift you or take you or put you in a place. No, but moldable in a sense of like you're able to receive. So when somebody has something to impart on you, you'll be able to receive that. Sometimes when you don't have a sense of fear, you don't really receive well because you feel so secure. That's the word. And what it is that you kind of feel like you got it. You know, like that's why I still try to maintain that with myself. Like, and it ain't even that I try. I always be a little nervous before every show because you never know what the outcome is gonna be. You know, it's always, and typically it's people I really don't know, and we be vibing. So you know, it's always a system. But I think that makes a great recipe because I think it shows a certain sense of vulnerability too.
Yes.
And the vulnerability is that it seemed to be a bad thing in women. It's okay to be vulnerable, but know who you're being vulnerable to. Be selective, use discernment. Women, we must tap into our feminine energy more because I understand we have tapped into our masculine energy not necessarily by choice, really by force. However, this is a time for real where the men need us, and not just the men that we can potentially date. Our young men, our sons, our nephews, our cousins, you know, they need us, our brothers, they need us, like, and we must be in position and be in a good space to be able to work through our innate nature, which is to have that femininity. And it's not that having a certain sense of a masculine energy is wrong. No. Because that just shows your dominance and or assertiveness. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because everybody got their role to play. It's the spectrum of us. That's why we're phenomenal. Because we fit in all the hues of the word. You understand?
Okay.
All the spaces. So I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying having a good balance. Because I understand that our scale has got a little off balance. Yes. Especially with a lot of those who have had to be single parents. And see, a lot of people think because they are married that they're not single parents. But if you are the sole provider, because a lot of people that, like my mom, even though she was married to my stepdad, she was kind of like a single parent. Kudos to my mama, Miss Cookie, whoop whoop, because she was. My stepdad was always out to sea. Yes. My mama was at home raising the kids. Yes, she was married. Yes, he was present, but he wasn't present. So even sometimes, and I won't use her as a whatever, but I'm just using it as an example. What I mean, like sometimes you can really still be
a single parent.
Like when you got to step up and be whatever. And because I think sometimes we let society give us groups instead of looking at reality.
Yes.
Like homelessness. I know I'm bouncing, but homelessness, because that is a big thing for me. Like I really try behind the scenes trying to get some things in place for something in my city too, Portsmouth, because I am praying for a financial blessing so that I can pour back into my community. And it's real talk. It ain't about no talking things I've been saying for forever. I had so many opportunities to leave, and I'm not scared of leaving. I'm not. I'd have been other places. I could have stayed. I just feel like that's what everybody does. I feel like Tina Turner and what's love got to do with it. But I know what it feels like to be there where everybody leave you. Yes. Because Portsmouth is a city where they rape. They take so much from the city and they never pour back into it. Yes. You know how much beautifulness has come from that city?
Yes.
And nobody ever embraces it. Nobody ever acknowledges it. And the crazy thing about it is I'm not even from Portsmouth for real. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
But I was raised and see, Detroit bred me, but Portsmouth raised me. Gotcha. I learned all my things. I've learned my street knowledge, my book knowledge. Mostly was in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia. So that's my city because that's where I took from. You understand me? That's why I did my dirt at. So, and then what I did was, anyway, I'm talking too much of my business. But I have to give back. So my point is in my position, and I understand why people leave. I understand a lot of things. If I had it like that where I could have a home somewhere else and a home here, I would do that. But right now, I have to stay here because here is my goal. See, once I feel like I put back here and I have replenished what I have took it from here, then I could move forth. But I may still not always move forth because I feel like, listen, not saying that I would stay here forever, but I'm saying I love the city. It would be somewhere I would have a forever home, a little home at the come visit. Because Virginia is a good state. It's a lot of good stuff to come in Virginia. It's a lot of good stuff over here. Excuse me. It's a great place to travel because it's in the middle of a lot of things. Like, it ain't too far, even though, I just feel like homelessness. That's why we're going to. Homeless, because I go everywhere. I love talking to you. Homelessness, right, is on an all-time high, and people not really acknowledging that for real.
Yes, yeah.
Seriously. And homelessness is more than what we think homelessness is. See, homelessness is not just about the person on the corner all day long or the person outside all day long. If you don't have a physical address, you are homeless.
Yes.
See, so it's a lot of people that are homeless. See, it bothers my spirit how we our cities, and this is a thing, an epidemic everywhere.
Yes.
A pandemic, really, everywhere, homelessness in all the states in the United States of America. And we over there giving money away to other countries. And we got people right here. And a lot of them are veterans.
Yes.
Which is even sadder. It's sad how they treat these military people that's just active duty right now. But anyway, that's another show. I ain't gonna take up all your show talking about all the political injustices that are going on right now. Because it's a lot of y'all. I have to go do a cup of tea for that. But I love your positioning because you are pushing. You are moving. So when I say you pushing and I say you moving, what's next for Trust the Process?
What I'm trying to work on now is, I know it's Women Empowerment Month, but the reality for me is this. Growing up, I watched all the things the city, the state, the world in general do for women empowerment. You know what I mean? And like you just said, our men, our sons, our nephews, they need us just like we need them. So for me, my next step outside of the podcast is to try to work some things with different organizations that I met and came in contact with to work on some things for the empowerment of the men as well.
Yes.
My goal is one of my coworkers, in the process of us planning for our block party we just had this Saturday at the public defender's office for the community, they met a gentleman that works through social services that does a fatherhood program. Okay. And it's like a class, a certain amount of weeks of a class. They graduate, but in the process of that, they teach them how to do applications, how you dress for interviews, how to handle when you do have your child by yourself, for the men that aren't used to caring for their kids, things to do once you've been in trouble, have been incarcerated, you come home, you're a convicted felon, all those types of things they do with them, anger management, mental health, all those things are what embodies my movement. You know what I mean? Because I don't want people to think I'm just about women. I'm about equality for everybody in general. Because I feel like on both sides, men and women, we have both been traumatized by life in general, let alone the deaths and all the things that come along with it, political, spiritual, all those things. We have so much trauma, and I feel like that would be a great thing to do, especially for this city. We have so many programs that's sports, but what about those young men that's not into sports?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What about those young men that's into writing? I used to work for the courts, and the young men that I would come in contact with that felt like they could rap or felt like they were poets, felt like they were artists. And it was like I was seeing them at numerous amounts of just kids going to jail, going to TDH, going to prison, being tried as adults. My son was one of them, and it was just like I watched the system destroy them. Yes. And it was like the light they had before that stuff started, and whatever the reason they felt like they needed to be in the street, that life killed the spirit that was in them, that light that was in them. So I genuinely want to bring that back. I want them to understand they are just as appreciated as the women are. They deserve to be treated just like we are. They deserve to have life and peace and, you know, be honored and feel like they belong here.
Yes.
And that, you know, that's my thing. And I do that because, like I said, my son, my oldest son, he was in the penal system, and I just watched him because he was an artist. He had painted a mural for one of the places on High Street before when he was younger, and he wanted to be an artist. He was into painting. He was into drawing. You know, he can freehand things. He can freehand things. And, you know, I watch now, I see him, he's adjusting to me just like I'm adjusting to him. You know what I mean? And it's like, I had to realize that's still, to me, that's still my son, but to him, he's a grown man that's been through some trauma. You know, we got to catch them. We gotta be there for them, just like we want people to be there for us and give us resources. We got to give these men some resources.
For sure, because there's no resources for men.
It's none.
It's none. They don't have that. It's hard for them to get in the house, and they got to have like some type of disability. They got to be damn near broke. Like,
and even if they single parents, they still don't get the same benefit we get.
Nope, they don't.
They still can't get based on your income housing. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's what I mean. It's so hard for them. They got to be damn near broke or
Yes.
broke down.
Like that to destroy us and destroy the black families.
Yeah, for sure.
Take the discipline because the man bring the discipline.
There you go.
And now we got what we have.
Yep.
I don't know what to call this stuff, but it's wild.
Yeah.
I like what she's doing. Like, that's dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
She very dope. Look, like I had to come in here, drop a couple of lines.
We do the father program over here too.
Okay.
So if you know anybody on this side that's not on your side,
Okay.
let them know how about Virginia.
Okay.
Father program.
Okay. I'm definitely going to reach out because I'm trying to get this thing started. Yes,
Yes.
I am.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
because we definitely do need stuff for men. Fathers, men, young adults. Yes. Because they need their hands full, you know. Idle hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then low resources. And then, okay, I'm so glad we talk about this. So I was building with a young lady the other day about, she got a lot of stuff. Anyway, I ain't going to talk about it prematurely. But bouncing some ideas off because resources. The lack of resources is one of the main reasons why we have gun violence or any violence. And what I mean, education sucks. What I mean, the health system sucks. What I mean, the roads suck. What I mean, the jobs suck. What I mean, like we just talking about, we don't have centers. Okay, yeah, we have 3 centers in Portsmouth, maybe four. But that's not enough because Portsmouth is a large area of residential, and that means there still is limitations to people accessing them. This is the reason why I want to pour back in because I already know what the need is. We need one in every community.
Yes.
See, not every little whatever, no, every community because the lack of resources, a lot of people don't have cars. This is a walking community. Not saying it like that, but it is what it is. A lot of people
don't.
need to walk. So, I mean, they have to walk. So, or catch the bus or whatever. So, we need things in place where they're able to reach the resources. So
yes.
it's not, okay, who cares that they got all these resources in one part of a city? Okay, that's one part of the city because we think we free, but we are not. See, we are still in segregation. Y'all thought y'all was in integration.
Okay.
Y'all are not.
Okay.
That's why that's why we have zip codes, y'all. Be smart. Stay lifted. Zip codes are not only for postal. No. Zip codes are for zoning. Zoning is how they infiltrate systems of cities, metropolitans, rural areas. They do zoning. That's why it's maps. When you go to the police station, you see the maps because they tell them what zone they're going to be in. That's why it's color coded. That's why I got numbers to it. You understand me? Listen. So zoning is segregation because that's why it's a differential in what products, services, resources, and all that is in different zoning. See, we have to stand up and understand our power, y'all, like for real. And I know I've been not as active as I should have been because I had to work on some things for myself in the in the back front so that I can be solidified, so that I can bring my forefront. You know what I'm saying? Because it do say get your own house in order first.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to get my own house in order first before I come out here. You know what I'm saying? And my house is in order and I'm ready to work too. And I don't want no whatever. I just want to build off what other people building off.
There you go.
I just want to pour the work. Because everybody already got what we need in place. I just feel like I can say like, look, da-da-da-da-da, that's the idea. Drop that check in there. Here go a check. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. I really, for real, because it's so many necessary things that we need for youth. And like you said, for me, for everybody, like, because the resources are too scattered.
Yes.
And I think for real, y'all, I know it's a lot of love behind the scenes stuff, but we got to understand that we are adults now, y'all. And some things got to be pushed to the side for the better good. We got to be more collective, because if we got one large, like, duplex or whatever, or that's duplex, multiplex, and everybody's resource was inside that place. And then you have little subsidiaries or whatever the case may be, but that would be more productive.
Yes.
A person could come there, because the whole point, right, is supposed to make sure that everybody is getting more productive and everybody have access. So if that's the true mission, for real, then why not?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Be a collective, because see, the division is what makes us not as effective.
Yes. Yes.
It's okay to say whatever. I understand everybody out here. We all trying to get something or whatever, or to grab or solidify our generational wealth. And I understand that we are those generational curse breakers. I understand that that's what everybody is striving for in this time. But at the same sense, let's not lose the sight of what's bigger than that. Mm-hmm. Because if you truly do the kingdom work and what God said you to do, all the other stuff gonna fall into place anyway. Because the connections can always expand. Mm-hmm. Everybody got so many ideas. It's not like this is it. Whatever anybody's doing is not all they want to do. That's for anybody, and I know it. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to tell me. I understand. It's me too. Mm-hmm. What we're doing on the forefront, what things we may even be doing, is not all we want to do. So why not all be collective? Because we still could be doing some other things.
Yep, everybody can be doing
and giving
different.
somebody else jobs. Because ain't the whole plan for everybody to eat, or is it just something we say?
There you go.
Is what we really trying to do? Is what we talking about really what we talking about? Or is it just something we say because it sound good?
Okay.
Because if we all trying to eat, then let's all eat.
Let's all eat.
Let's all eat. And if people don't know how to eat at the table correctly, let's correct them and move forward.
There you go.
Because it's going to be some people that try it. That's anybody. So it's okay. But we going to hopefully just come to the table, being at the table.
And make it work. Make it happen.
Because I love this whole movement you got going on. And I'm going to be there to keep supporting. Look, I love it. I love it. I love it. So with, I'm talking aloud, sorry. I love talking to you, girl. But, so what made you come up with Trust the Process?
Okay, so like I told you, my parents passed away. Once my parents passed away, I also had a friend that was incarcerated and was working through addiction. So he asked me before he came home, would I be a sponsor for him, which wasn't an issue because myself and my sister at one point in time were trying to be a sponsor for our mother. Okay. And so some things I remember from different classes and little graduations and stuff we did with her. So I utilized it, and what I did was come up with what it was called a burn book for him. Okay. And so I said, what you do in your burn book, I said, I'll even start one with you. You get you a plain, clean notebook, and you write down every trauma that you can remember. Try to go as far back as you can. And what you need to do is you need to tap into that trauma, start trying to figure out a way to work through it. Not get over it, but work through it. Try to figure out different things that you can do better about this situation. Try to figure out exactly what is the thing most that's causing you to feel like you need to use. I said, and as you do that, you don't have to do everything right then and there. Take your time. I said, it's a process. And he was like, what? And I was like, it's a process. Just trust it. It's a whole process you got to do. And I would say it to him so over and over and over that eventually I started doing my own book because I wanted to see if it would work for me. You know what I mean? We were going through two different things, but I said, well, let me see what I can do. So I started my own book. And as I started writing stuff, I would write different things from my childhood, things from when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, once I became a mother, relationships, marriage, divorce. I started writing all that stuff down in that book, and I said, so I wonder what would happen if I decided to do this on a platform and see if people genuinely would tune in. But then I had got to a point when I really was serious about it. I didn't really care if anybody tuned in because it became a therapy for me, and so I just would put it out there for people. Hey, I'm on tonight, if you want to tap in, and I would just talk about things I was going through on a day-to-day basis, and I kind of explained to them how to do the book. And when me and my son were sitting there trying to think of a title for the podcast, I was like, trust the process. I said, because in anything you do, good or bad, it's a process in it.
Facts.
You're going to go through good days, you're going to go through bad days, but if you want it bad enough, you're going to fight through the good and the bad.
Facts.
You're going to fight to that goal. You know, at some point, you got to trust that the process you're going through is going to take you through it and going to take you even higher than what you could have ever imagined.
Facts. That's dope. That's dope. Shout out, son. Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big love, big love.
Big love, son. Okay.
Anybody that know me know that's my right hand man. He always be like, Mom, your favorite. I don't have favorites, and I don't. But anybody that know, if you see me and don't see him, he done went with some friends. But most of the time, it's me and him. And then when my other son, was away, it was really me and him. You know what I mean? Like, he seen me at my worst. And so he is so excited, and it give me more energy to see how excited he is about me moving out of the dark places I was a year or two ago. You know what I mean? So, and then it makes me feel good because it's like he went through the same traumas I was going through. You know what I mean? My dad stayed in the house. We stayed in the house with my dad, and we literally watched him in his stage 4 cancer. You know what I mean? So days I had to be at work, my son would stay there with him. So I had to move past myself to say, he going through the same thing I'm going through.
Yeah.
He way younger, so he definitely don't know the tools he need to get through this. So I gotta be an example for him so that he won't do what I did all of my life up until now. Just push stuff to the back burner, make sure everybody else okay. True, you can be helpful and make sure everybody else okay, but like you said, you gotta clean your own house first. You gotta make sure you straight first, and that's that's where I am now with it.
That's dope. That is so dope. Again, sorry for your loss, though.
Thank you.
For real. I can't even say that I can sympathize. I do have empathy, though. But it's dope how God can take our devastation and it push us so much. And how you can honor them, like you said, like I know it has to feel like a way not to actually physically be able to share those things with them, but the point that you're still able to be. So yeah, maybe it wasn't for them to see per se. Maybe it was for them to push you so that your children would be able to see, like what you just said. So maybe your satisfaction, maybe you can find peace with that. Yeah, maybe you weren't able to share those things with them, but I feel really strongly that it's for you to share with your sons. That was the more important part. Because maybe you would have been so busy trying to share it with your parents that you wouldn't have been focused on sharing it on them. And not to whatever, but just to give you a little bit of peace with that. Like, for real, I really feel that's what it's for. And that's going to be...
And it's crazy you say that because I had told... because... my mother only has 3 kids, myself, my sister Lakeisha, my brother Calvin, he's in Carolina. Love you, little bro. But my dad has 6 of us, and then we have a branch of siblings from each situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of us, you know what I mean? And once my dad passed, me and my siblings from my dad, we had just had a conversation about how that trauma of us not having both parents, how we really was against each other as the youth. We loved each other, but we were envious. You know what I'm saying? Like, they felt I had the best because I was with my grandparents, but they didn't realize I wanted what they wanted, even though I was the older. I wanted what they wanted. I wanted to be with my mom and father. So, we came to agreement, and it was just like I told them, y'all got to realize they didn't raise us, but they really did. When you think about it, they put us in position for some other things. They saw something we didn't see. God showed them some things we didn't see that they weren't going to be able to take us there. They raised us what most people would do. I say they raised us in the flip side. By them not being there, it afforded us better opportunities.
For sure.
Like, my sister was with my mom for most of her life, but she was also with my mother's mother as well, her parents. So she knew from the beginning, just from the history of our family, certain things she wanted to do. And by the grace of God, my sister is the head public defender for the city of Chesapeake.
Woo woo.
You know what I mean?
Come on, sister.
Like, my brother is doing awesome in Carolina. My dad's kids are doing awesome. And that's why I say, when you say that trauma, it definitely puts you, that devastation will put you in a space where you have no choice but to fight through. Like, you against the wall. You have no choice but to fight your way out.
Yeah. Cause what you gonna do? You ain't about to
You
sit
ain't gonna
there
sit
and
there.
just no. We fighters, baby. We trying to go out of that thing.
Yeah.
For sure, coming out is the good part. Like people want to rush the process, like, and that's why I love that trust the process, because people want to rush the process so much, not understanding that in the process is where you get everything for when you come out. If you rush the process, then that's the reason why a lot of people go in cycles, because you didn't get what you were supposed to get. So now you got to go through it again, the whole thing, just to get one or two things. Where if you just sit, my pastor preached. Big shout out to Pastor Andrea Burge. See you from 1 Corinthians Baptist Church on Randolph Street, Walton, Virginia. Listen, last night he spoke about being happy while you wait. So, you know, in the process, you're waiting to come through the process. So, our posture when we go through, see, that shows if we really trust God, if we're really faithful.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we say a lot of things. We show up, we present this outward shell to be like top notch, like that, Jay. But on the inside, sometimes we be filthy and broken, you know? And if we just sit in the process, some of that could get rearranged, rebuilt, cleaned off, dusted off, polished up, because you're going through it. Because there's a purpose in it. Because he said, even in this. So it's a purpose in all things, right? So, but if you rush it or if you skip it, you prolong it. Who want to stay in something longer? You might only have to be in it for a month, but you'd have made it 3 years.
Yes.
Because you want to got that. Because I have people. I have done it.
Look, I'm sitting here like, girl, you better.
I have done it, man. Listen, I have people, y'all. So as I say that, like, it's so dope, trust the process, because you really do have to trust the process. Because, sorry, y'all, my sinus is messed up. But if you really trust God and you believe in Him for what you believe in Him for, you must trust His process. That is so dope. That's a prophetic title. Trust the process, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all tap in to trust the process. She be talking good too, y'all. I make sure y'all tap in to trust the process. Because we trust all the processes. No problem, no problem. So when you thought of trust the process, and I know you said you were just doing it as therapy and just like an outlet. So now that you have got your feet wet, what you want to do with trust the process now? And we know you're going to do your outreach, but what do you want to do with trust the process now? Because I can see that being real big.
I genuinely want this to really be a place where people, like when me and you talk, we said you cannot give people peace, but you can create a space for peace. I really want that to be what my podcast is, because I want people to feel comfortable coming up there saying, I'm going through this. Can you put me in touch with da-da-da? Because I also want to incorporate the whole situation with resources in my podcast at some point in time as well. Because I want people to say, I'm going through this. Do you know who I can reach out to? And me be able to shoot them, you know, an email or whatever, and put them in contact with people to help them as far as with mental health and trauma and stuff like that. So I genuinely want it to be a safe space for anybody to feel comfortable to come up there, watch, comment, give me advice, because I'm trusting the process along with them.
Yes.
I'm not already through my stuff. I'm trusting the process, and that's why I try to be so transparent with people on the show, because I want them to see I'm not just telling y'all stuff because I think I know it all. I'm telling y'all stuff because I'm going through it daily.
Yes.
So I really want it to be a place where people feel comfortable tuning in, taking advice, and knowing that what I give them is from the heart.
Yeah. Facts. I like that. That's super dope. Y'all make sure y'all tap into trust the process. Look, because it's so dope. So, question. When it comes to, because, okay, it's Women's Month, so we're going to talk about women, but we're going to be inclusive of the men. So, when it comes to the women-man dynamic, what is one piece of advice you can give to a woman and a man, or both of them together, however you want to do it? And what is one piece of advice to be more unified?
I think to be more unified, number one, whether it's any type of ship, meaning friendship, relationship, anything, I think you first and foremost, like you and I discussed before, have to know the things you want, the things you're willing to settle for, the things you don't want to deal with. You got to be true within yourself, what you're willing to be comfortable with, but you also have to be able to trust that individual. And in trusting that individual, you have to have a space where if both of you are having a conversation, you should be able to not only give, but receive. You should be comfortable receiving from your partner, your friend, whatever. I think we separate so much because we don't trust each other. And not just with cheating, with personal business, with like you said, being vulnerable. You want to be vulnerable when you care for somebody and you in some type of ship with them. It doesn't mean be a fool. That's quite the opposite. But what you want to do is you want to be in that place where you're comfortable with what you guys got going on, and it's not about everybody on the outside. And that's one of the things I think is a major problem, is where everybody's so concerned about what somebody else is going to say. If that person make you happy, be happy. Yeah. If y'all make each other happy and y'all work well, what y'all got going on is good, do that. Yeah. You shouldn't be worrying about all your friends saying, girl, but last week you was just mad. That's what people do. You do that with friends. Yeah. And then y'all right back cool. So what's the problem with doing that with your man or your woman?
Oh, can I interject right quick?
Yes.
And then further to add to that, if that's how you feel, to stop talking so much.
Stop telling them your business.
Stop telling them your business.
Yes.
And then they wouldn't be able to judge what you move. I had to take that piece of advice too, because as women, we do chatterbox about stuff sometimes, and then we be mad. Don't tell them when you that mad. Or tell one of them, not everybody. I don't know. Or don't say that at all, because then they can't judge nothing that you got going on if you ain't getting no evidence. But go ahead.
My grandma used to tell me that all the time. My mother's mom, love you, Barbara Jean. She used to tell me that all the time. I'm talking about trill. And about this tall.
They always be the fight this one.
We call it little pants. We call it little pants. Girl, I'm talking about feisty, but it's, girl, in church, off the chain, okay? And she used to tell me all the time, baby, you got to understand, we your family. So when you come to us with stuff, you might have forgave him, but we not going to forgive him.
Exactly.
You know, and I didn't understand that younger dealing with men, but as I got older, I'm like, oh, no, I ain't telling them about this one. Because I knew how I was going to be the next go round. So you, like you said, you just got to be mindful of the things you're telling people outside of your relationship, because everything that happened with you in your relationship does not have to be shared. Some things have to be intimate. Some things have to be personal. Some things just need to stay between y'all.
Yeah. Especially if you want to have a healthy, long relationship, because like what you said, what your aunt said, your grandma said, excuse me, don't beat me up later. I'm sorry. I apologize, ma'am. But look, because we fight, I gotta go ahead and get it in order. I apologize, just ma'am. I'm sorry. But for real though, what you said was very vital, because what she said, they don't forgive, and I had to realize that, because think about how you feel about when people come say you stuff. And depending on what it was, even if you ain't gonna tell them, because I'm a person, I speak from an unbiased perspective when my friends come to me for advice, because I don't want to send them on a tateful path.
Yes.
Now I may say, girl, I went right with that, but I can see why he might have said or did this, girl, because you know you shouldn't have said or did this, girl. Now you know that was wrong. Now what did you think that man was gonna say? Now we're gonna beat him up, but what
you know you was wrong.
You know you was wrong, like, you know, but everybody is not. Some people will only tell you from being your friend perspective, but I feel like being a friend is just saying what's right. So that's why sometimes people don't tell me stuff. And I'm cool with that, because I want you to tell me what's right.
Yes.
Don't just tell me what I want to hear.
Yes, but you're sending me down a terrible path.
Yes, but then don't tell me based on your past either. Because see, a lot of women do that, because they hurt it better. They want to tell you something. Just tell people unbiased opinion. What tell them, baby, that's between you and your relationship. Because if you really don't have no advice to give on the matter, then don't give it.
Yeah, because you're going to end up getting the wrong advice, and it's going to come back and bite you.
Yeah, so don't give it. But when you right about, she was right though. You can't tell people your stuff, and then go, especially when you want to go back.
Yes.
Because
if you done, you done.
Yeah, if you done, you can tell your stuff then, I guess. Yeah. But if you gonna go back, baby, it don't look cute either. Though.
No.
For real, it sounds silly after a while, and especially when it's that repetitive type stuff.
Yes.
You sound kind of silly after a while.
Because they're like, you going back? Why do we care?
Yeah. People don't really, it's like the boy who cried wolf. People be like, the first couple times it'd be a long. for no reason. They be like, I'm not wasting my energy on this.
Like, girl, let me know when you're ready to pack your stuff. Just let me know when you're ready to pack your stuff. Other than that, don't come to me.
Yeah, so yeah, that's so dope. That's so dope, though. But going back to ships, I'm sorry, but I had to talk about that relationship part, 'cause that was the one right there. Let's go back to the ships.
But yeah, just, you gotta trust. You gotta trust people. It's okay to be vulnerable. Those two things to me are vital, because I feel like that is two of the major things that are lacking. People are so scared of getting hurt because of past situations. They don't allow other people to come in. And one thing about it, in life and in love, it's always going to be an opportunity to get hurt or for it to be successful. You know what I mean? So that's just like if you go for a job interview. It's a 50-50 chance. Unless you just know you're going to get it, you just going there just because. But it's going to always be a chance that somebody is more qualified than you. I guess I should say it that way. It's always a chance somebody's more qualified for you. And that was another jewel my grandma used to drop. Baby, what you won't do, somebody will. Yeah. Type of thing. And that was just... Big facts, grandma. Okay.
Big facts, grandma.
So it's just like, you have to... I mean, we've been in a situation where it's about the money or it's about the sex. Now it's time to start building some things spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because that's what we're lacking. Yeah. We are really lacking in those areas. I mean, you can work your own job, pay your own bills. So why are you so ready to be with a man just because he can do that, when every night you crying at home because you by yourself?
Exactly. It's okay. See, we gotta be, and then go back to something I said back in the women's healing. We had a healing month, right? Mm-hmm. Back when I first started, and I did all the little stages of trauma. So I did the little girl phase, the young adolescent phase. No, I did the little girl phase, the young adolescent phase, the young woman phase, the woman phase, and the Phoenix phase. The Phoenix was the end. But I said all that to say how I tied back into what you just said about sorry. I think all that talking, girl. What?
It's just so much in your head. That's all it is.
It is, because look, you just saying some good stuff. Girl, I'm gonna shut up. Just go ahead and keep talking about me. Girl. But
yeah, that was really it. I mean, I just feel like those things are vital. We say we love people, but we don't genuinely love people, because a lot of us don't even love ourselves. A lot of us don't even love God. We question the things he do daily when you don't even understand. Just because something is a no or something fall apart, like you said, it's shaping you for something greater. You know what I mean? Stop taking everything as a loss. Stop taking everything that come at you as a bad situation. You cannot take situations and trauma from one person or situation and take it to the next, because you're doomed. Yep. You are doomed, especially if you get into a situation where another person is coming from a situation with trauma. Yep. Y'all not going to do nothing but bump heads. Y'all not going to do nothing but cause confusion. You know what I mean? I had said on a podcast a few podcasts ago, somebody asked me, why was I single? Why do I limit myself? And my thing was, I tell people all the time, I'm not single because I can't be in a relationship. I don't have the emotional capacity to give what I need to give. Why am I requiring that from you?
Exactly.
I'm not going to put you in a situation when I wake up every day and I don't know if I'm in a good mood, a bad mood, if I want to be bothered, and I'm going to take that out on you, but then I'm mad because you don't want to come home. That's crazy.
Crazy as hell.
That's crazy. And that's what we do. Yep. A lot of us do that. We take the things we go through on a daily basis and we assume our partner, man or woman, is supposed to just deal with that shit and still be there for us. Yeah. But we do not reciprocate.
Reciprocation, baby. Come on. Talk on that is the word. Reciprocate. If we cannot reciprocate, I cannot relate. You understand me? I cannot. I just cannot. In any level, any ship, partnership, friendship, relationship, family ship, business ship, any ship. You heard me? I'm jumping off the ship.
Okay.
I'm not on it. I got a lifeboat. Okay. I'm not with that ship. Okay.
Okay.
No, for real, because that's a key one right there. That was it for me. Mm-hmm. I was doing so much pouring and I was never getting replenished. So my cup was always empty and I had to go and refill it by myself. That was not what it was. Mm-hmm. And like you said, being single, people just be like, oh, you ain't single, you playing. Why not? Why would I lie to you, baby? You ain't nobody. It's nothing to lie about. I mean, it's not really a great thing. I mean, it ain't a bad thing, but it ain't a great thing. But like you said, I don't have the capacity either. I didn't. I had to keep getting my own house in order, and that house I was talking about was myself. I had to re-understand and relearn who I was, because how can I tell you what I require if I don't even know what I require?
There you go.
Because I got to reintroduce myself to me. So I got to learn me as well as the next person going to have to learn me, but I got to learn me first so I can tell you what me is.
Yep.
Because I need to know what I like now, what I don't like now, what I expect now, what I'm not going to tolerate. Like, these are new things I had to learn. So, like, what you saying, I'm with that, because I don't have the capacity either. I don't have the time. Because it takes time. Because I'm going to want that consistency. I'm a consistent type of being. So, if I start out with no giving you no time, I can't later want a lot of time.
Yep.
Because when it start off like this, that's why you liked it. Because you liked that I was not requiring a lot of your time. See, I get it. We have to be real with what it is that we want and what it is that we expect and what it is. And how life works. Yep. You ain't go through all the previous things to not know nothing.
Yes.
It was for you to be observant. We got to pay attention more to the right stuff. Not other people's stuff, but the stuff that pertains to us.
Yep. Our well-being.
Come on. Say so. Say so. For real, though. Ladies and men alike. Like, you can't be so pressed about being with the fellas and what they got going on and what their quarrels are that you ain't got your whole front right, and then be mad when your whole front don't turn out the way you expected because you were putting too much energy in not necessarily the wrong places, but not necessarily the right place. Because we take a lot of things for granted sometimes. Yes. We feel like because it's there, it's going to always be there. And because a person giving you the benefit of the doubt, or they're giving you grace, that we misuse that sometimes. Yes. And I have been on both ends of that. I've been the user of it, and I've been the used of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, learning how to do that, and learning, like, what you said earlier was very key to vulnerability. Like, for real, that's one of my things that's on my little vision board I did for this year. Vulnerability, because I had up so many walls that I wasn't even really able to receive because the walls are so heavy. It's okay to have up a little guard or whatever, but you can't be so guarded like Fort Knox, can't nobody get in, because you blocking the good and bad. Yeah,
because if you blocking what's coming in, you can't even release what you need to let go.
So it's a lot of blockage. Come on now. You gotta say that. All the blockage, yeah, she said it now.
I had a young man tell me the other day, like I told you, I did a podcast last week, and I just was, whoo, baby, down. Down. And when I talked to him, he was like, we ain't doing that. You need somebody to push you. And at first, I was very hesitant, because I'm like, push me? What you mean? I got a wonderful team. I got a sister that won't let off me, even if I ask her to. You know what I mean? But I started to understand as I went through my next day what he was saying. Somebody that's not in my inner circle. You know what I mean? Because they going to push me because they love me. They want to see me do good. Somebody that knows nothing about me that still wants me to prosper.
Me.
You know what I mean? And it was so funny because we had been talking about the podcast because he had never seen it. And I was telling him about how me and you did a podcast. And like I told you, him and his team is going to take over the whole month of April. Shout out to Back to the Block. And he just said, I'm going to tell you something. You can only pour 100% of what's inside of you. So if you only got 50%,
that's all you can pour.
That's all you can pour. And it spoke volumes to me because, like I said, I've always wanted to save people. I've always wanted to save the world. That's always been my thing. And I had to realize, how the hell you gonna save the world? You ain't even saved yourself. You drowning. You know what I mean? I had to really sit there and say, okay, take a step back. It's good that you want everybody else to do good. But once you get them to that place and you still here, then what? Because they may not come back for you. Most of them won't. You know what I mean? Most of them won't. It will be a few. Most of them won't. But I had to start saying, you got to place some value in yourself. You got to understand you deserve the things that you telling people they deserve.
Speak to me.
You trying to tell people they deserve this, they deserve that, they deserve to be this. What about you? So you just gonna sit here, as my friend Dominica say, and cry in the car, but you gonna help everybody else once you get in the car, wipe your tears. You superwoman again. You know, and that was a reality check for me because last week was a definite reality check that I was not over some of the things I thought I was over. I was masking it by doing the podcast, by doing this, by helping this person, doing this program, doing this. And I'm still, once I leave that program, go home, sit in my room, and be just like, So now I'm like, what you doing it for? Get it together. Hype up. You want to do this? You got to make sure you good first.
So that's good. You got to deal with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Like what Miss Dion was telling y'all last week. You got to, what you say? Hey, women. Hey, women. Yeah, you, women. Get your own attention. Snap yourself. Because sometimes that's all you got is you and yourself. And when all you have is you and yourself, you got to be well with that.
Yes.
So you got to get her in order, because at times you going to have to be with yourself. And there's going to be no distractions to keep you distracted. And you going to have to sit with whatever it is you've been running from. So why not just deal with it?
Okay.
Because if you deal with it now, then you will be in preparation. Because preparation is key. So if you deal with it now, you will be prepared for next. How dare you ask for next to taint it, to destroy it, to mishandle it, to fumble it? God don't work like that. So he'll hold it for you. He may give you a little razzle, little dazzle, little sprinkle, little
But
drop.
it ain't nothing
But
compared
it
to
ain't
what
gonna
he
be what
really
he
got for you.
really got for you. Because you holding it up yourself. So yes, it's so important that we really do tap in to ourselves and understanding who we are, because a lot of us have shifted. And as we should. And so you got to take time to relearn who you were. Because otherwise, you're going to go back to what you came from.
Yep.
Because you're going to keep accepting that standard, that version of you. So you're going to start your own growth, because you're not going to really realize that, no, guess what? And I'm learning something too, y'all. Celebrate your small victories. Small victories. If you are a big cursor and you on the cursing time today, give yourself some grace. If you a heavy smoker and you only smoke 2 or 3 blunts a day, give yourself some grace. Because once you start acknowledging your little small successes, if you were a person that bit your nails and you ain't bit your nails in a month, give yourself some grace. If you stop smoking cigarettes, give yourself some grace. If you stop fornicating, that was your thing, give yourself some grace. If you started doing something and you done made $100 more than you normally make a day or week or whatever, give yourself some grace. If you went from walking to driving, give yourself some grace. If you went from no furniture to furniture, give yourself some grace. If you went from no house to house, from apartment to house, from house to bigger house, from whatever, you get what I'm saying? Acknowledge what you have done, because again, I know a lot of my guests, and we have talked about this, we focus too much and we give too much honor to the bad things, to the bad memories, to the lack, to the missing pieces, instead of acknowledging the pieces that are the things that are what you have already done. You have already came through. Miss Dion said the most profound thing last week. She said, you are 100% victorious over everything you've been through. That's why. That's dope to think about.
Yes, when you really think about it. Because you still standing here.
So everything you done been through thus far, you have won.
Yep. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
That's dope, man.
Yes.
When she said
When you
that,
really
I never really looked at it like that.
Yeah, but we so focused on what happened. We don't
That
think
we
about
didn't.
that we made it through.
What? We could have been, it was not supposed to be so, but we did. Oh no, y'all like the red ride. I just thought it was real profound, because when you think about it, that is the absolute truth. And with that being the absolute truth, it gives you a little bit of hope. Like,
Yes. Look at me being a fighter.
Yes. Fighting up out of all of it. Big stopper.
And that's true. That's true. I tell people, like in reference to, like I told you, the burn book, I told people to write down their traumas, but also write down your goals. And I tell them all the time, we stay so focused on long term, we don't even think of the short term stuff. It's so many intricate pieces to the long term. You got so many short term goals, you can knock them out the way. Be proud of them. Oh, I made it. Oh, I made it. And by the time you really look back, you like, damn, that flew. Yep. And I did it.
And it wasn't as hard as I thought.
And it wasn't as hard as I thought.
Because one step is the beginning of the journey.
Yes.
See, we always think, it's like with everything, we always think we got to get right or be ready. There's a misconception that we have to, erase from our head, erase from our mindset, erase from our pattern, our way of thinking, right? Because if you really think about it, right, that's the reason why a lot of us stay stuck. They say most people never even try what it is. They never fail because they never even try.
They never even try.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you got something, do it. Either you gonna sink or you gonna float. You gonna do either one. It's okay. At least you've tried. What they say, it's better to have loved than not have loved at all.
There you go. Better
That's
have
real
lost
talk.
it. Yes.
Because at least you can talk about that experience that you had.
Yes.
If you've never done it, you just oblivious. Why miss out on something that could
potentially be great?
The
Greater than
best
great.
thing that ever happened to you.
Greater
you
than great.
understand? Like, and it's just like with God. You don't have to get right with God. That's why God still loves me, even though I cuss and even though I smoke and even though I may take me a glass of wine. You understand me? He still loves me because I seek him and I love him and I have an intimate relationship with him. It's not about being all together. If he said he didn't come here for the people, the righteous, came here for the unrighteous. You understand me? So, and this is not justifying my sin. No. What I'm saying is, he is supposed to cleanse us and make us as white as snow.
Okay.
That's his job, not your job. Because if you could do it by yourself, then you wouldn't need him.
You better
What would
say
be the
it.
purpose?
You better say
so
it.
I'm saying that is transitional in all aspects of life, whether it's your spiritual aspect, whether it's your mental aspect, whether it's your emotional, whether it's because in your physical, stop sitting on shit saying I can't get it. I gotta wait till I get this. I'm gonna wait till I get this. I'm gonna wait till I get it together. Man, listen. You better jump out there because while you waiting, that opportunity when you got that first is because see, listen, this is the season of tapping into. Y'all already know this is the 3rd month of the 23rd year. Y'all know that 23rd year, but y'all know what I mean. 23rd of 2000, okay? And y'all already know what these numbers I mean. Completeness, wholeness, unification. Listen, these things I've been telling y'all is not just to say these things. It's because they all go tie together. I tell y'all all the time because I'm not the person really that's the author of this ship. You understand me? I'm being led myself. So I'm telling you, it all is going to make sense after a while. If you see it, it's playing out. This young lady, we didn't rehearse this. This is freestyle. Everyone, I'm telling y'all, it's a raw episode every time. It's not rehearsed. We didn't even have a topic. Do you understand? This is real. I'm not lying.
No, and it's so funny because everybody that I told about the show was like, what's the topic? I said, I don't know. She probably going to do me like I did her.
That's how I do everybody. It's really no topic. At first, when I first started, I did have topics just because I needed a narrative. Because I didn't really know where I was going with it. And I really wanted to talk about all these subjects. And I still haven't talked about all the subjects. Because I had when I came here live, I had a whole notebook full of subjects. And I had started researching some of them. Because it's a lot of things I feel like miseducation was the main thing I came to re-educate my people.
Yes.
Not that I need to teach them nothing, but a lot of things we were taught incorrectly. So if you don't understand your true identity, then you don't understand your positioning, your power, your capabilities, your abilities, your lineage. Because see, people say, like they always try to discredit things like it's not that big. It don't matter that they got these white Jesuses up in church. Yes, the hell it does. That's the whole reason why they have the white Jesuses up in church. Let's talk about it. See, they have this because, excuse me, my throat is so dry, y'all. I'm not gonna keep sipping. Imagery is a heavy thing.
Yeah, it is.
You equate to imagery. If they had a black Jesus up there or a brown or tan Jesus, the way color bronze, the way that they describe it, right, with the wool hair, then guess who would feel empowered? We would.
Yes.
But because they switched the imagery, that makes the opposite feel. And it ain't about whether I'm trying to, because see, y'all try to make things be about race. And some things it is. It's just about race. And it's not my fault. I did not create it. So don't shoot the messenger. You understand? But I'm going to speak on it because it's a fact. And it's something that need to be spoke about.
Indeed.
Because we share little things like that under the rug like it ain't nothing, but it is. Because it has to do with the fabrication of a person's being. We will walk around with so much more confidence and boldness if we were equated to slavery. Even though that's not the truth. But that is our truth and what the narrative is that they're pushing in these states.
Yes.
Of that they are united of America. You understand me? For real.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. So I said that to say imagery. The same thing with our words when we talk about words on the way. Words. That's how they keep us so divided with the words and the imagery. They make us feel so down. So I say all of this to understand who you are and say, for the lack of knowledge, my people should perish. You got to become more knowledgeable. At this day and age, with these devices that we have, it makes no sense. There's certain things we cannot find the information to, because let's be 1,000. Half of us are on our phone most of the time anyway. Whether we scrolling, whether we looking at reels, whether we looking at something, whether we working, we own a device. So that means you have the accessibility to the information. It's just the want and the desire. A lot of us have become so programmed that we don't want to know.
We complacent with whatever going on.
This thing in Ohio is affecting us, y'all, whether y'all know it or not. I'm sorry, I say I won't get political, but we got we got some time. Listen,
Look, we doing what we doing.
What you feel about that?
I stay out of a lot of stuff. I don't really.
Okay. Well, she don't have no comment, but I do. Okay. So the comment is, yeah, we for real, seriously, we really need to be attentive. The reason why I'm speaking on it is not to further push agenda. It's to say, listen, this shit real, y'all. Water supply, air quality. I'm speaking about these things because this affects us. That's a major water. All our waters kind of connect, y'all, whether y'all understand that or not.
That's true.
See, I'm talking about it because food. They already playing with us anyway, y'all, in our face.
Yes.
With everything. So it's, again, nowhere. Ooh.
I knew that was going to happen.
Nowhere around it. They playing with us in our face.
Water it is.
But right now, it stopped. But, you know, it's a lot of things going on, and I'm saying all that to say, as we are empowered, make sure y'all stay enlightened. Make sure y'all stay in tune. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. And I ain't talking about the me or the her. I'm talking about to y'all selves, to y'all higher power, and also stay tapped in to us.
Yes, of
course. But that is really not the priority here.
Yes.
The priority is to stay tapped in to God. Stay tapped in to understanding and getting clarity. You understand me? He said, all that understanding, get understanding. And all that understanding, get some understanding, so you can have a position. Because how can you have a position without no understanding?
You can't.
You just floating.
Let's
not be what my kids always talk about. So MP3s, what they call NPCs, non-playable NPC.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it is. I think it is an NPC.
Yeah. Don't be NPCs, non-playable characters. I think that's what it is. Like in this Matrix or whatever y'all want to say, whatever it is. Don't be them.
Yeah.
Don't be the people that's just there. It's just there. Doing whatever the computer say. No, think for yourself.
Start thinking for yourself. Research. If you got a question, you need to research it.
And research everything anyway.
Yeah.
Period. I tell my kids that I don't care even if it's me telling you. Fact check me. You heard me. Don't believe what nobody just tell you.
Find out for
Because they can
yourself.
tell you wrong on accident. Because what they heard, if compared them so that they thought it was right and they ran with it.
Yep.
That's how a lot of things get started. It ain't always bad with bad intentions. See, that's why the good intentions can send you straight to hell.
Yes.
Because good intentions can still be incorrect. You understand me? So, it says study and show thyself approved. I'm sorry, guys. It says study and show thyself approved. Seek diligently. See, we gotta reprioritize what's really important, because at this time we gotta pick a side, and what is really important with the side that you picking.
Yes.
For real, because the more important is the heaviness of what's really at stake, and not what they make us think is important. Because those promissory notes that people dying over, killing over, fighting over, that IOU, you understand me?
Not important.
It's not. Because, see, if you do it right, God gonna bring all things in abundance to you. He go, listen, take my word for it. All things in abundance to you. If you're doing what he's supposed to do, that's why you're going to continue to be blessed. That's why God's going to continue to open up opportunities for you, surpassing me. You understand me? This is only the break of the beginning of what is in store to come.
Thank you.
It's going to keep progressing. It's going to keep multiplying. You're going to keep adding to. You gonna keep expanding larger territory, larger everything. You understand me? You just keep staying in line with that purpose, with that assignment that God has placed on your heart. And it's gonna be elevated more than what you know, quicker than what you believe. Just keep trusting the process. You said that.
Bars.
Not the mic. Drop it. Listen, she is so awesome. Y'all, I'm enjoying myself. We are just vibing out in this Women Empowerment Month. Look, oh, my Spivey up here, my mama Cookie up here, Christina Lewis up here, Teresa up here, Flossie up here.
Hey,
you see me with my halo. Flossie, La Priest, baby, come get you a halo. I got my halo on this evening. Hey, Antoine Hagen, what's going on, cuz?
Hey, Hug.
What's
excuse me.
up, Sam?
He ain't even gonna like me to say Huggy because I call him Flash.
Oh, shoot, well, don't say that. Say what
Hey,
you supposed to
Flash.
say. Look, say what you supposed to say. See, I told you I call people by their names, girl, so he gonna get me. Sam Sinatra, come on.
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all.
Hey, cause we ain't shut no matter. Okay, man. Okay. Hey, Taj. Hey, man, you was up here for a long time. Okay, wait, do you see you ain't done say the man. Okay, consistency, talk to him. And I like that you say consistency, and as well as consistency, we have to have persistence. Okay,
Yes.
we have to have persistence also, and endurance.
Yes.
Because you could be consistent in a thing, and it could be the wrong thing,
There
but you
you
can
go.
still be being consistent. So, what they say last week? What she say? On the right road. What she say? Remember what? Look at long face. The right road, the wrong path. What was it? The right path.
You can be on the right road to the on the wrong path.
Yeah, that's what it was. You could be on the right road to the wrong path. Okay, I just had to make sure I said it right. Miss Dawn was dropping a lot of Jews on us last week, y'all. Miss Dion, she is really dope. But I'm going to tell you, this young lady that dropped a lot of Jews on us tonight, and y'all make sure y'all keep pushing her movement. Trust the process, because, baby, we done trusted the process this evening, and I think it came out beautiful.
I
What
do
you
too.
think?
I definitely do.
Did you
Yes.
enjoy yourself?
Yes, even though you know I was terrified.
But you did so good, I told you.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
You're so awesome.
Thank you, girl.
You
so
really
are you.
are.
So are you.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to give this young lady, this phenomenal queen, her flowers in this month because she is doing some amazing things. Y'all make sure y'all stay tapped into her. Tell them your handle one more time.
I am DeAngela Wright on Instagram, and it's also under Trust the Process. And then on Facebook, I'm Shanta Wright, spelled SHANTA Wright, WRIGHT. Also, I wanted to say, please join us. My church is sponsoring a encouragement seminar on Saturday from 1 to 3 at the Deep Creek Community Center. It is what everybody is free. We welcome in men, women, kids. Just come out and get fed mentally, spiritually, and physically, okay?
Woo woo. And y'all been seeing it on the page. Y'all make sure y'all tap into that. Make sure y'all follow her on her platform, Trust the Process, every Tuesday, correct?
Every Tuesday at 7.
Okay, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Instagram.
Yes, that's on Instagram.
On Instagram under Trust the Process, okay? And y'all make sure y'all tap into her on her Shanta Wright page as well, because she always is posting something, because she always got something going on. So y'all make sure if y'all want to stay tapped in, she does things with donations and things of that nature. She's always giving back. So make sure y'all stay tapped into her. Thank you again so very much for coming on the platform.
Yes, girl, thank you for having me. And so my pastor don't kill me.
Okay.
The church, if I didn't say, is God's House Baptist Church. Our pastor is Charles P. Wright Jr.
Woo woo. Go ahead and come on out. And what city is that in?
It's going to be in Deep Creek, which is, I think, technically Chesapeake.
Chesapeake. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all look on the fly, get the address. Okay. And join her there this Saturday at 1 to 3. Now, y'all already know I appreciate y'all, because y'all could have been anywhere in the world. But y'all chose to be right on here with me. You know that means so very much to me. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay up. And y'all stay sucker free, baby. Until the next time, make sure y'all stay shout out in to Miss Trust the Process, DeAngela Wright. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for watching.
Yes, it's so dope.
Powered by Virginia Radio.